Well, before I get to the sermon this morning, I have brought something with me that I need to show you. This is it here. This is a block of wood. It is a terrific block of wood. It's very nice, and as a block of wood, it is perfectly designed for many things in this world. It is ideal as a chopping block, ideal for chopping things, maybe some firewood you could put up here and chop. It's perfect for cutting things, separating things, as a butcher might do on a butcher's block, or a chef might do on a carving block. And out of the kitchen, this block could be something else. It could block off a path. It makes a perfect stumbling block, this block. But what if we didn't want to divide things, or to be a hindrance and block things? Well, then we would have to make a few changes. What we have to do to this block is we have to open it up. And I'm going to open it up right here. Maybe I could open it up by taking the top off. And I'll put the top right there. Maybe I could open a side of the block. Maybe I could open this side of the block. Maybe even this side. And that side. And look what you get. With a little openness, the block becomes, as you can see, a table. A table. You see, the table is also perfectly designed, as a block is, for many things in this world. A table is a gathering place. A place where stories are told around the table, where remembrances are shared, dreams, they're inspired. A table creates a community. Literally, it creates companions as people come together to share bread, which is what the word companion means. Around the table, strangers become friends. And of course, around the table is where we find the nourishment for our very lives. But as we just saw, a table is not a table unless it's open. Otherwise, it's just a block. A hindrance to the things of which a table is perfectly designed for. So maybe that's why Jesus' ministry so often unfolds around the table, around the sharing of a meal. Jesus' ministry, you may recall, unfolded around the feeding of the 5,000 and then the 4,000. They were having dinner at Mary and Martha's house, the wedding table at Cana. It's around the table that Mary Bethany anointed Jesus' feet and head with oil. And what does Jesus do the very last time with his disciples as he gathers them before his crucifixion? He does it around the table for the Last Supper. And you may recall that the very first thing he does after his resurrection is gather the disciples around that same table in the upper room. It's no wonder then, and it is so telling, that those two disciples traveling on the road to Emmaus, they did not recognize Jesus' facial features. They did not recognize his voice as he was walking with them. What they did recognize, what was Jesus' distinguishing characteristic, was how he broke bread around the table. That is what those disciples in Emmaus recognized. That is what distinguished Jesus to them. And since this wide open table fellowship was the distinguishing character of Jesus' ministry, it must be a distinguishing characteristic of our Christian faith. If we are to follow Jesus, if we are to follow his example and to reflect his ways, we must be people of invitation. People who offer others a wide welcome, a seat at the table of God's blessing. Now that can be confounding in a world so focused on division. It certainly confused the Pharisees and the scribes in this morning's scripture reading. When they saw the wide welcome that Jesus and his disciples gave, the way of invitation, they asked, "What are you doing? Why do you share your table with tax collectors and sinners? Don't you know these people have been deemed unacceptable, both by religious authorities and by the cultural norms of our day? What are you doing?" the scribes asked. A more interesting question might be, what are we doing? Why don't we have the same table fellowship? Why do so many who claim to follow Jesus practice a ministry of exclusion? Choose the way of the block rather than the open table example and practice that Jesus so clearly gave in our scripture reading this morning. Well, here at the Church by the Sea, we try, imperfectly, no doubt, but we try to reflect Jesus' own way of the open table. In this church and at God's table here, we say all are welcome. We do not put up a block, but an invitation. There is no age requirement. There is no requirement of a certain knowledge. There's no level of perfection needed to attain. There's no dress code. You simply come as you are. But when you come as you are, you might just find that you leave the table better than you were. Come as you are. Leave perhaps better than you were. For you're not only invited to God's table, but that invitation includes an opportunity to become something new, something different, something better. For at the table, something happens. Something is offered. It's not just bread and juice. It's God's very Spirit and presence. And that has the power to change you. In God's presence, you are welcome. You are loved. You are forgiven. You are woven into community, a community with other faithful people, as we can see when we look around this sanctuary. And that welcome and forgiveness and love, it nourishes the soul. It changes us. It can heal us. It can bring us a peace that the world just cannot give. And so, as we leave here today, may we take the life-changing style of table fellowship, the way and example of Christ himself, out into this world. Because the world has enough blocks. What it needs is more blessing. Amen.